Hi, I'm Jessie Osborne, yoga teacher, yoga life coach, and your guide to the integration of body, mind, and soul. We're moving through the most common foundational yoga poses used throughout a mat practice so that as you continue your yoga journey, you can move forth with safety and confidence. This video will go over tabletop and lunges. So let's start on hands and knees. Tabletop pose is, of course, a foundational yoga pose, often used in transitions and core strength building. And it is very good for the strength of the spine and the core. So, setting up for tabletop, again, full contact with the palms against the mat. Really planting the shoulder blades onto the back. So see how what's happening to my shoulders here, how I'm rounded forward. And when I really plant my shoulders on the back, I'm strong into my shoulder girdles. There's a slight broadening through the collarbones here, and the gaze is just forward of the hands. And then you'll see here, I'm not doing anything, I'm not engaged in my core right now. But as I draw my belly button in towards the spine, the lower back straightens and strengthens, and the whole core is engaged. So when we talk about core engagement, it's really that drawing in of the belly button towards the spine. And you can really see how it changes the structure of the pose. The knees come directly under the hips, and we're really solid against the earth. Just connecting to that foundation that is underneath us, feeling supported. Our foundations are strong and rooted. Taking a couple deep breaths here. And from tabletop, we start to flow more freely into what we call cat-cows. So with the cow, you begin to relax the belly button. With an inhale, we're going to draw the heart through the shoulders as we reach the collarbones forward, lifting the tailbone and the chin up. Inhale deeply. Exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine. Start to push the ground away and curl the nose towards the tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly button down as the tailbone and the chin curl up and the collarbones broaden, the heart lifts. Exhale, push the earth away as the belly button squeezes towards the spine and the chin and the tailbone curl in towards one another. Finding now your neutral tabletop. Shoulder blades strongly on the back. Gaze slightly in front of the fingertips. Belly button drawn in. Knees stacked under hips. Breath is long, deep, and even. Through our yoga journey, any pose that we're in, the pose is the connection to the breath while moving through and feeling into the shape of the physical body. If you lose the connection to the breath, you've lost the pose. So come to a space that you can reconnect to your breath. We'll move on here. We'll bring the right leg forward, planting into the foot. Being mindful to stack the knee over the ankle. In lunges, we want to be sure not to take the knee forward of the ankle. We want to keep the integrity of the structure. The back leg can shift back. Lunges are hip opening stretches. They're very good. We do a lot of sitting. We move through these lunging postures a lot in flowing yoga classes. So knowing how to get into this is very helpful. So just like in mountain pose, we're really going to root down through the foot. Seeing a theme here, really finding that foundation and utilizing our foundation so we can be strong and support movement in the rest of our body and our lives, right? So we're rooting down through the foot really strong. That causes a lift in the body. Just like in warrior pose, we're wrapping that hip down and back. See how when I did that, watch what happens here when I pull this down and back. I'm now more square in the pelvis. So bring your hands to your pelvis and feel yourself square. So you're not twisted going this way. You're really squared off in the hips. And then same as in mountain, we're going to drop the tailbone as we lift the pubic bone and the hip points up. You may already feel a stretching sensation along the front of this left leg. That's plenty good of a stretch for you. If you have more in you and you want to explore and feel into this pose a little deeper, we can begin to work towards getting our hands now forward towards our foot as we shift the weight forward, still pushing strongly into that foot, keeping the integrity of the hips. Notice how I have my hand placed on my sacrum here, being mindful of my tailbone. Coming to my comfortable edge. Yours will be different than mine. Mine differs from day to day. And then you can soften down and find your fingertips or palms onto the mat and deepen into your lunge. If you have blocks, you can place your blocks under your hands. Bring the earth up to you. Taking this a step further into high lunge, tuck the toes of the left foot and lift up through the back leg, strongly pushing through the heel, just like we do in plank pose. Draw the belly button in towards the spine and begin to peel the chest up off the knee. You might not go very far. Really lifting through the back of that knee, sending the energy out through the foot and through the crown of the head. Lifted and open through the collarbones and strongly pushing in through the front foot. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower the back knee, plant the palms, slide that right leg back, and go ahead and find your child's pose. Knees come wide, big toes come to touch, palms walk out in front of you as you melt the chest and forehead down to the mat. Take in one full cycle of breath here. Reconnect to your breath. Open the mouth, exhale. With an inhale, come back up. Find your tabletop. Knees come under hips. Shoulder blades plant strongly onto the back. The arms are strong. The belly button pulls in towards the spine. Gaze is slightly forward of the fingertips. Breathe deeply here. Feeling the strength of your foundation. And then as you feel ready, we'll bring the left leg forward and shift that right knee back in space. Strongly root down through that left foot as you lift the upper body. Wrap that left hip down and back, squaring off the hips. Send the tailbone down as the pubic bone lifts. Finding that initial stretch maybe in the front of that right hip. Roll the shoulder blades together and down the back, broadening through the chest, lifting through the heart. Really strongly still rooted down in the front leg. And being aware of your connection with this back knee. Strongly push through that back knee just to see how that feels for you. Breathe deeply here. And as you feel ready, we'll shift forward, keeping that neutral pelvis. Finding your comfortable edge. One side might be much tighter than the other. I know mine is. Making sure that that hip has not creeped up. And then as you feel ready, finding fingertips onto blocks or the floor. Keeping the collarbones open and lifted. Cycle of breath here. And then tuck the right toes under and send energy through that right leg, really pushing up through the back of the knee and sending energy out through the heel. A long line of energy from the heel all the way out through the crown of the head, taking the gaze now just forward of your toes. So we're doing this is to keep the spine nice and straight. Nice long line of energy. One more deep breath here. Lift through the back of the knee. Push out through the heel. Root strongly down through that left foot. Lift the chest. Exhale, lower the knee. Plant full palms down onto the mat. Swing your left leg back to meet your right. Knees come wide. Find child's pose. Reconnect to your breath. Tell yourself you are strong and capable, and you allow for rest whenever you need it. Rest rejuvenates me. Inhale, come up to hands and knees. Bring your knees back under your hips. Go ahead and sit on your heels and move forward in your lunges and your tabletop with comfort and confidence throughout your yoga journey.